This video is honestly life-changing because I'll be giving you my anti-bullshit way to get back on your feet when life feels completely outside of your control. You will learn not only how to recover quickly if you are in a setback right now, but I'll also tell you how to prevent the next one from happening in the first place. And even if it did happen, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Clear action to get your shit together that will give you confidence and momentum to absolutely crush it, okay? This idea was from the comment section, so please tell me what kind of problems you're facing and I will make the best video for you, okay? Let's begin. Step 1. Become a farmer. Before I tell you what to do, you first need to become a farmer. But what the fuck do I mean by that? Life is a farm, your mind is the land, your actions are the seeds, and the consequences you experience, whether that's happiness, depression, whatever, are the plants that will eventually grow. And obviously you are the farmer. Hold up, let me cook, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? When you take an action, aka planting a seed, your mind doesn't give a shit whether that's a good seed or not. It's just gonna grow it, you know? Not only that, but the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. So understand that the bullshit you're experiencing today is nothing but the consequences of actions you took days or even weeks ago. This is called delayed feedback, which is a concept from systems theory. Step 2. Plant a seed and cut the weeds. If you're in a rough situation right now, it boils down to nothing but this. You simply haven't been planting the good seeds, and in fact probably planting the negative ones, right? And if you haven't been planting the good seeds, it's almost always because you're feeling guilty for not performing at your best. You look at your peak and you compare yourself to those days and you're like, well, shut the fuck up. Guess what, bro? Your best is not your average. If you had a good day and you had a good week of performance or whatever, that doesn't mean it's going to last forever. Now you're just back to your average state, which is fine. It's okay to fail. Who gives a fuck, right? So instead of feeling guilty, how about you get your head up, stop chasing perfection, and start chasing progression instead? Plant one seed today, even right now, to be honest. And keep in mind that you will not experience any results right away. Trying to be perfect is like wanting all the weeds to disappear, all the seeds to be planted, and all the fruits to grow all in one day. Is that how it fucking works in a farm? Obviously fucking not. So why are you thinking that way in your own life? Start by getting your fucking head up, move slowly but surely, which is infinitely better than not moving at all. So to make it practical, here are the different kinds of seeds that you can plant right now and the different plants that will grow after planting the seed, okay? This pyramid perfectly outlines the cause and effect chain, to be honest, of like achieving any goal. You can even use it to describe how did you even end up in the situation you're in right now. If you want to get started, you gotta start with one small seed. Just start small, you know? This is gonna sound basic as fuck, and I really don't want to say this, but probably the best kind of seed that you can start with is just a workout, you know? Just do a quick workout and it works. Like, what can I say? Like, it fucking works. It puts you in a better state. It's, you know, get you all the fucking serotonin, dopamine, blah, 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 all that bullshit. So this is exactly what you do right now if you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed by negative emotions in a slump, right? Get the fuck up. Go to the gym or do a 10 minutes run. You don't even need to do a full workout. Like, just do 10 minutes. You can do 10 minutes, right? And it doesn't even have to be in the gym. If you can't go out or like you can't be asked, or if that's like too hard right now, you can do it at home. Just do anything. Just don't do nothing, you know? 10 minutes, you can do that, right? The point isn't to be perfect, like I said earlier. The point is to make progress in contrast to where you're at right now. However, if you're the type of guy who already works out even on a bad day, then you can plant a mental seed, quote unquote, you know? For example, set a 10 minutes timer and read a page of a book, or like do some work, you know? Or like meditate for 3 minutes. I said it before and I'll say it again and again and again. No one gives a fuck if it's a small improvement. What matters is that you do something instead of nothing. Now, if you are the type of guy who still have like a better baseline than all the stuff that I mentioned, meaning that you do these things even on a really bad day, but you're feeling like you're not performing at your best, then simply just do more than what you're currently doing. If you're not satisfied with your performance, just increase it slightly better, you know? Just look at your life over the last week and just say to yourself, okay, well, what have I done over the last week, and make that better, okay? We're gonna talk about how to raise your baseline in a bit if you're not that type of guy, okay? But once you do the good action, you're literally not allowed to feel bad, okay? Understood? If you planted a seed, that makes today a win, no matter how small that seed is, no matter how much you fuck up later, no matter how bad you do. If you did that bare minimum thing I told you about, today's a win and you're not allowed to feel guilty, okay? And you should feel that win, you know? Fucking hype yourself up, man. You don't need me to tell you this shit. Like, why do you play into the negative thoughts and you feed into those, but you don't feed into the positive thoughts? Feed them. Feed that shit. Like, literally say, I got this shit. Because you fucking do. This is easy work. This is light work. You've overcome shit that's 100,000 times harder than this, you know? What the fuck is doing 10 minutes of a workout is compared to, like, all the other shit you had to do, okay? Amplify that good feeling. Don't just let it go, you know? Put gas into the fire. And once you're done, I want you to take a piece of paper and write exactly this sentence. If you are healthy, or in a good state, or you can work properly, it's because of me, motherfucker. So plant a seed for the next self. This will set as a reminder to your future self a few weeks from now to understand that if he's in a good state, it's simply because of you and only you. It's not because of what he's doing right now. It's because of the actions you've taken right here, right now. These concepts apply in the exact same way to the negative behaviors, by the way. What you do today, like the negative action you do today, will only fuck you up in a few days or a few weeks from now, okay? So use this pyramid to see, like, where did you mess up over the last few days or the last few weeks? And then just sit with the pain of the behaviors you've done a few weeks ago. Sit with that pain, and also sit with the pain of the good behaviors that you're planting right now. It's kind of like being, you know, in the middle of these two motherfuckers, and you're kind of getting fucked by both, and you're not really getting any results, but it's okay, because this is the only way to get you out right now, okay? This is why I said start small, because it's kind of like a shitty situation. Step 3. Protect the fruits and watch it grow. Getting started and going from 0 to 1 is by far the hardest part, okay? If you've done what I said earlier in the previous section, you literally did the hardest part. Right now, all you have to do is just do slightly better every day and slightly less worse every day. And in a few weeks' time, I swear to God, you will be someone completely unrecognizable, because the outcome grows exponentially, as this graph shows. So here on the left side, here we have like the motivation, right? Here we have like 1 out of 10 motivation, and here we have like high motivation. Here we have 5 out of 10. And then here we have the difficulty. So here we have difficult task, 10 out of 10 difficulty, 1 out of 10 difficulty. This is like easy to do. And then we have the 5 out of 10. And the action, as you can see, it's non-linear. So a linear line would look something like this, where increasing the difficulty by 1 should increase the motivation by 1, you know? Like, it would look something like this. If you have 3 levels of motivation, then you do 3 levels of difficulty, you know? But obviously, that's not how it works. As you can see, the line is not like that, which means that if you are on a low level of motivation, such as 1, you do an easy task. You can only do this task right here, okay? You don't start with a fucking hard task. And then, as you can see, the second you reach level 2 of motivation, you instantly jump all the way to like 4.5 difficulty, okay? The only hard part is making this jump right here, which is only done by lowering your fucking ego and getting to grips with the fact that on a shit day, you can only perform an easy task. So don't try to do a hard task, do a fucking easy one. And this jump here will take about, like, I would say just, you know, like about a week or so to make, you know. At first, this is gonna seem like super slow, like your motivation is not going up at all. But the second you get to level 2, like I said, like you instantly jump to, as you can see, 4 out of 10. So if you have a difficult task that's like 2 out of 10 difficulty, or 3 out of 10, or 4 out of 10, or 5 out of 10 difficulty, do not do them. Do an extremely easy one. Use it to gain confidence, okay? And then once you are at 2 levels, look, you instantly get like a big jump here. So don't try to do even a slightly easy, do a very easy one. And then when you get here, look, when you get to like level 3 motivation, look at this. You are at like 6 level of difficulty. You get to 4 motivation, you are at 7 out of 10 difficulty, which is pretty much like a very hard task, you know. 5 out of 10, you are at 8 out of 10 difficulty, okay? And the same thing, and then here you kind of reaches like diminishing returns. You know, it doesn't really add up until you reach like 10 out of 10 difficulty, which is like super obsession, and you know, like you're being extremely in the zone and shit. But other than that, it doesn't really take that much time, you know, to go from this to this. You just need to lower your fucking ego and do an easy task. Do an easy fucking task, you know. And this applies to the bad habits as well. So bad habits are kind of like the opposite, you know, because like you usually have like high motivations, right? And then they're like super easy to do. So that's why they succeed, you know. That's why it's easy to do them. The prompts succeed here because, you know, it's easy to do. But with the reason you don't do the good habits is because they're hard. You try to do like a hard task and you are with low motivation. So the solution to fix this is to bring this one up here, and the solution to fix this one is to just bring it up here. So instead of trying, as you can see, like a hard task, what is a hard task in the bad habits? is like, for example, you can imagine like if it's fapping, like not fapping at all, or if it's smoking, you say to yourself, okay, I will never smoke again, I quit smoking, I will never do it. That's not how you fucking do it, right? Start here. How about you start here at the easy level and then increase the difficulty slightly, just like we did earlier, right? You go from, for example, smoking 10 joints per day to smoking 9 joints, and then smoke 8 joints, right? I don't know what the fuck is that. 8, and then 7, and then 6, and then you go like one level at a time. And then before you know it, boom, look, before you know it, when you reach this level here, where difficulty is like, you know, kind of hard to do, you only need very little motivation for it to succeed. So for this 1 week, I want you to treat your actions like a baby. It's hard to take care of it right now and will require you so much grit, but in a few weeks time, the momentum will give it its own legs and it'll literally start walking by itself, and you wouldn't even have to think about any of this shit, you know? It's gonna be like the momentum will be the one pushing you, not the other way around, you know? And when that happens, look at this piece of paper and remember that it's not you who got himself here, but the version of you from a few weeks ago who grunted his teeth and said, okay, I will do a good action even though I don't want to do it. By the way, I'm not pulling this out of my fucking asshole, you know? This shit I actually lived for years. I'm not perfect. I literally applied these concepts like a few weeks ago. Like a few weeks ago, I was eating like crap. I was eating like pizzas, I was drinking 5 Monsters per day. I was not sleeping because I was so caffeinated. And this made me so, and really, I really was like in such a bad mental state to the point where I had to call the prevention line. Imagine that. Then I just started small with a 10 minutes run. Then I cleaned my diet very slowly. And then I avoided the bad habits, you know, like the bullshit habits, like staying late, like scrolling and all that, slowly but surely. And now I have so much momentum to the point where it's getting dangerous, which brings me to the next point. Step 4, harvest the fruits before they rot. I want to start by giving you a warning about the snowball effect. You know, it's not necessarily a good thing, you know. Once you reach a good state of mind and the momentum is by your side, you want a big snowball, but don't allow it to become an avalanche. Harvest your fruits before they rot, okay? Here's the rule that I want to give you. When your obsession is through the roof, you have to be disciplined to not be disciplined. That's because it's actually a lot easier to lose yourself in the obsession than it is to control it. I'm gonna give you a concrete example here. So for me, for some reason, when I have so much momentum by my side, I just lose myself and I lose the need to sleep. I literally have zero urge to sleep and I'm so energetic all the time. I can go on for an entire month sleeping like 4 hours a day simply because I don't know, like I have so much momentum and I am obsessed about the goal. And so my brain, it naturally starts waking me up so early in the night, you know. I would literally be tossing around in the night and I would feel like I wouldn't have any need to sleep. Obviously, my body still needs the recovery, but in my mind, I don't feel the urge to sleep at all. And every time this happened back in the day, I'll just listen to it and I'd wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., sometimes even 2 fucking a.m. and I would start working until like 6 p.m. or some shit. On the surface, it sounds, yeah, grind, discipline, yeah, but nah, bro, it's so fucking ass. Because if you do this a few times in a row for like a few weeks in a row, you're back to being in a slump again. You just burnt yourself out, you know, you're back in a low point because you've wasted all that energy, you know, you can't keep running forever. You have to recover properly. The solution to this is very simple. The way you fix this is simply the opposite, you know? Don't let the momentum grow to the point where it's too much. Unless you absolutely have to. Now, for example, obviously this is an exception, but let's say, for example, like your business is literally dying or you're about to go bankrupt. In those situations, obviously, fair enough, like just push it yourself to the limits because it's necessary. But 99% of the time, that's never the case, you know? Here we're trying to have a sustainable level of effort over a long period of time. So you want to stop growing just right before you reach your absolute physical and biological limits, okay? Instead, you want to operate right below that point where you can sustain it over the long run, okay? So I'll give you another example of how I apply this. Because I've been stacking so much momentum over the last few weeks, I am now literally waking up after only a few hours of sleep, like after 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and my body instantly just wakes me up. But instead of getting up and actually getting to work, I literally force myself to put my head back down. Even though it would take me like 15 minutes or 30 minutes to go back to sleep, I'll tell myself, no, you have to sleep. Get back to that fucking sleep. You need it. Your mental health and physical health honestly are the foundation that your work, discipline, obsession, and everything rests on top of. Okay? If you fuck up these two things at the bottom, you'll fuck up everything else at the top. Okay, so be careful with this and continue following this approach that I just gave you. You know, prevent the bullshit habits from happening, do the good habits, and plant seeds. Wait for them to grow, and then don't allow them to grow too much, and repeating this process. If you do that, you'll be fine over a massive long period of time. But what if you fall off again despite this knowledge? That's where the next step comes in. Step 5, what to do if the weeds grow again. The last thing I want to talk about is a reality check, to be honest. Even with all this knowledge in mind, you're still gonna fall off. You cannot have a perfect life. You will still fail no matter what. Everyone does, everyone fails. You know, you can't just keep going up and up and up. At some point, there will be some dips. Now, over the long run, it's going up, but in the short term, like what you experience day to day, you're gonna experience dips and ups to like 24/7. You know, the goal is not to be perfect. You cannot be perfect. The important thing is that the next time you fall, you make sure that you don't fall as hard as the last time. What I mean by that is that the next time you fall off, right? Do your absolute best to focus on preventing the bad days from being too bad. Don't focus on trying to make the bad days good. Focus on making them less bad. So instead of trying to read a full book on a bad day, just focus on not letting it be zero. Instead of focusing on not fapping at all on a bad day, just make sure you don't fap as much as you did the last time. Instead of trying to eat perfectly, order just one less unhealthy item than you normally would. Instead of trying to wake up at 5 a.m., which is dumb as fuck, just wake up 30 minutes earlier than you did yesterday. If yesterday you woke up at 10 a.m., just wake up at 9:30. Make it less bad instead of more good, okay? Instead of trying to not smoke weed at all, focus on not smoking 10 joints. If you smoke 9 joints instead of 10, that's a win, you know? You've increased the low point, you've improved the bad day. And by improving the bad day, you naturally start moving upwards again, and then the new peak will also go up. I go into much more details about the theory behind why this works in this video, so check it out, okay? Right now, just understand that falling off is honestly inevitable. Just make sure you don't fall as hard as you did last time. One last thing just before you click off, please listen. If you want to learn more about high performance and you feel like you are ambitious but kind of like unstable to reach that ambition, then check the first link in the description. You can have a call with me. I'll explain to you how this theory works. We can discuss it, you know, we'll just have a chat. So check it out. Take care.